and Mum podcast. You're joined with Davey, the bod, and myself, Elaine, the mum. And today we're joined by Bradfield, who is the owner and founder of CrossFit Moira and his tribe. And he's going to talk to us about what CrossFit is and really dispel some of the misconceptions that we have about CrossFit, and also talk about an epic event that he held in his own premises recently. So without further ado, let's pass you over to Sam.
Hi guys. So as Liam was mentioned there, I'm Sam. I own CrossFit Moira and coach from CrossFit Moira. We've been open now for actually just seven years there on last Tuesday. So
happy belated birthday.
8th year. Now we originally opened as a strength and conditioning gym, and then we kind of fell into CrossFit, and we've been a CrossFit affiliate now for going on, we're in our 5th year as a CrossFit affiliate. And yeah, it's the best decision we made for the business and for the community as well. It's really just grown into something kind of more than just a gym and a training sort of methodology. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at the minute.
Talk to us about your strength and conditioning, because obviously a lot of people don't understand that you got to get your qualifications in addition, like your personal training, and then go on to get your strength and conditioning. Why did you go down that route?
I just thought it was more enjoyable than training geared towards more performance than for aesthetics. I know David's probably more down of like obviously your style of training. But I was a personal trainer before, and you know, everyone wanted weight loss, and you know yourself, and Elaine, you'll know this as well, with females especially, you know, they can think all their progress is gone, and like by the time of the month or whatever, and they're carrying a few more pounds, and all the whole world's coming down around them, and the training's been useless, and you know, and it's just simply could be just that sort of, you know, carrying a bit more fluid that time of the month, and you know they're doing the right things, and it can be very demotivating. So
yeah.
I was working with a lot of people like that, and to be honest, I didn't really enjoy the one-to-one coaching. I prefer the group setting. I played football my whole life, like team sports, and I enjoy that more. Because if I wasn't really getting the buy-in from the client, I know probably part of that's my responsibility too, but if I wasn't quite getting that buy-in, I just didn't enjoy it as much as well. You know, obviously you have your amazing clients that do exactly what you tell them, and you can teach them their habits, and you know they can kind of educate them to look after themselves a little bit in the long term. You've obviously got the opposite end of the spectrum that people think by turning up they deserve results, you know. So I kind of didn't really enjoy it and nearly dropped out of the fitness industry. And my wife coerced me into, I say coerced, like, but she kind of, there's a wee place called my fitness studio, and I was like, oh, I'll get in a bit of group training and stuff. But like, I kind of always wanted to get down the route of strength and conditioning, you know, getting people in doing their big compound lifts, and kind of training more towards for performance as well, and you know, bringing in some nutrition with that. And if someone's training for performance well and they're getting good solid nutrition, they're going to get their sort of body weight goals as well are going to fall in the line. Their aesthetics, you know, their body composition, I suppose, a better word than body weight. You know, so that kind of why I went down that route more. And again, I kind of originally had the idea that I wanted to start working with sports teams more, as well, because obviously from a football background, you look at rugby and you look at in schools and stuff, they've got such a good strength and conditioning background from such a young age. And like the elite levels of sports, you've got strength and conditioning, but nobody's doing it. I still think a lot of teams that I played for certainly is run laps the pitch, you know, and that's an outdated method now to get people to a level of performance. So that was kind of originally where I was going with it. And then at the time I had started CrossFit at the same time I opened here. And then obviously I was like, oh, I love this. This is brilliant. It kind of is a form of strength and conditioning. It wouldn't be sports specific as such, but yeah. And then I was like, right, well, this is what I want to do. This is what I want, the direction I want to take the gym in. Then, you know, we were open maybe, we were in the planning stages of opening when I started CrossFit. I had to then go and get my level 1. And I wanted to be doing CrossFit for a while before I took it. You know what I mean? I don't want to just one of those.
Yeah.
I'm going to do my level 1. I'm going to open a CrossFit gym with very little experience of understanding it myself. So that's why we sort of took a couple of years before taking the leap to actually then affiliate with CrossFit. It was a long-winded answer for them why we went down that route of strength and conditioning. I enjoy groups. That would have been a faster answer. I enjoy groups.
Yeah.
I must admit, that's a question I've asked myself in the last 24 hours, actually. I was staying with a client and I had 2 separate clients. I was doing 2-to-1s. And their programs are completely different. And whilst I had confidence in one of them to do the work because we worked together before, I find it difficult, unless it's like a small group setting where you're doing the same thing and everyone expects to do the same thing. But if you're taking a client for specific needs, one had impingement in shoulder or whatever, or one could be heavier weights, I find that personally at the moment very difficult because I want to deliver the specific program. But I do like group settings if you're doing boot camp style things, but obviously everyone has to buy into that idea. CrossFit's obviously different because you go at different weights, but you've got certain scales to go up.
Yeah.
But without getting into all that just yet, just tell me, I heard that you didn't always like CrossFit.
No, you got my wife. So, yes, originally I was one of those. I'm gonna use the term because I was an idiot. All right. I'd heard these things. I was down as a personal trainer, so I was hearing all these personal trainers saying like, "Oh, it's a load of injuries. It's terrible."
Yeah.
And it was kind of. I mean, CrossFit had been taken off and started to take off over here a little bit, but there was maybe 5 or 6 CrossFit gyms. It was nowhere near quite as big as what it is now. And I was kind of listening to that, and I suppose a little bit like a bit of a sheep. I wasn't actually doing my own research into it. So my brother-in-law, he was doing CrossFit in Scotland, and he was telling me you need to get into CrossFit. You need to do CrossFit. You'll really enjoy it. It'll be really good to help as a complementary training to your football and stuff. And I'm like, nah, I've heard all about things about injuries and stuff. And then I was like, right, sat down, watching TV one day, Netflix, and watched the CrossFit Games documentary. 2015 CrossFit Games. I was like, geez, that looks really, really good fun. They were pushing sleds up and down a football pitch, American football pitch. They were flipping tires. They were high skill handstand walks, bar muscle ups, everything. They were like Olympic weightlifting. I was like, they're doing everything. This is looked really good fun. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go. And I booked in for a session down in Lisburn. It was in between, so I had my wee fitness studio, and it was in between. I had about 4 months where I had no place to train, so I had the lease end in my wee studio, and then I was waiting to get set up and get into my new place. So I was like, right, I've nowhere to train. I don't want to go down to the leisure centre in Lisburn again because I'm just so sick of that. Monday's chest day, whatever, blah blah. I want to change it up. I'll go down and give it a go. I went at my first session, and my mind was blown, and I instantly was like, this is incredible. Like the attention, the detail, the movement and stuff. I was like, this is the absolute opposite of everything I've been told. So that's why, I wouldn't have been very vocal about slabbering about it and all that stuff. But I mean, it's like I was saying to my brother, I'm not going, like, I don't want to get injured and stuff and all that carry on. So, but yeah, I went my first session and I was instantly hooked and knew then that was, what I wanted to do then. It was like, this is the opposite of everything I've been told. And I do think a lot of that stemmed from people were losing members to CrossFit gyms, and that's where then the argument started.
Yeah, I suppose like CrossFit gyms and all, they can go in and you set up stuff each week. Is it each week or each month? And then they look at the board and they work along that there. So they could probably just go into there, do their own thing, and go, rather than having, as you say, like maybe a personal trainer who's telling them to do, just repeat each week. You're coming and doing the same thing. Where CrossFit, you're doing various things.
Yeah, so you've got that variance every day. You can come back. The workouts are programmed that you could train 5 or 6 days. Now you probably wouldn't want to train 5 or 6 days, and wouldn't be smart to train 5 or 6 days in a row. But you know, the workouts are programmed complementary to the week, that you could effectively do that, you know, and it's different every day. You know, because you're mixing between gymnastics, weightlifting, and that's obviously anything dumbbells, kettlebells, barbells, sandbags, and then your gymnastics, that'll be anything body weight, you know, from.
Would you have on your board, we have a various programs, you know, for like from beginners right up to advanced to elites and stuff, or is it just the one program?
So we have the one workout of the day, and everyone comes in and does that workout. Now, for today as a perfect example, so today we have a 21-minute EMOM. So every minute in the minute one, you do calories on the bike. Everyone can do calories on the bike. You might scale the amount of them, but you hit a certain amount. You know, when we'll give it, like today, for example, with the calories there, 18 calories, and you must have it done under 50 seconds. And if you can't, well, let's knock 3 off that.
Under 50 seconds?
Yes. So you'll like, people will scale that, and a lot of people will have to scale that, and we'll get them, you know, before the workout starts, they'll know the number they're going to hit. It's going to be equally as challenging for them. Okay. The next minute, 20 seconds of a seated L sit hold. And again, in the warm-up, we'll run through certain progressions to the full movement, and everyone's going to find something they can do to accumulate 20 seconds of that L sit hold. And then finally, today, our sort of higher skill movement is a bar muscle up. Now, we'll have roughly 150 people through the door today, and I would say 20 of them will be doing bar muscle ups. The rest will all be working on that progression. And there's some people who are going to be close. Like this morning, we've had 2 people get their first bar muscle up, but there's going to be people at the other end of the spectrum that are a lot further away, that don't have a pull up. So what we'll do, we'll work on the skill development side of it, and like we transitions over the bar and stuff, but with their feet on the floor and things, you know. So today we're developing the skill side of it. Some days we'll develop the strength side of it, and we'll look at some strict pulling work, you know. So that's all. We have a section in the class, maybe 15 minutes of teaching, and we'll run through all the different progressions and the movements, and there'll be obviously a coach is taking everyone through that and working with people to find their own movement for the workout. And then today's a 21-minute workout. At the end, then that 21 minutes, everyone knows what they're meant to be doing. And sometimes you get it wrong and have to adjust in the workout, but most people, when it comes to the workout, they're well versed on what version of that workout looks like for them, you know, what that version looks. So yes, I understand some people will put an intermediate version up, an elite version, and a beginner version, but we tend to, and sometimes we do that, but sometimes we'll just coach everyone through, because some person could be a beginner in one portion of it, but like the bar muscle ups, but could be super fit and have those calories done. So they don't need to they don't need to do a beginner level on all of it, you know. So they'll find their own individual version of that workout. So as I say, 21-minute workout, there's probably a good 30 minutes of coaching and teaching and moving and getting through progressions and stuff, and even practice.
Blown away about 18 seconds in under a minute, or 18 calories.
That's friggin' nuts.
So like that was the hardest part of the workout for me today, was the calories. The cardio was not my favorite, but
I'm now contemplating that I want to go in the gym this afternoon and try this. Because
it
depends. Is it actually possible? Because I'm gonna say no.
Is it possible to do the
18 calories in 50 seconds?
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, what machine are you thinking about here?
Your bike.
No. We're talking the Concept 2 bikes. But yes, no, we've had guys at 30, 40 calories in a minute. Now it's one sprint. They can't do anything after that.
What's a Concept 2 bike?
A bike, Eric.
The air bikes, the big.
No, see, I know you're thinking we would call it assault bike, arms and legs.
Yeah.
No, we have had guys before. Now it's a sprint. They'll maybe hit 36 to 40 calories in a minute on those. Okay. But like they can't walk for 10 minutes afterwards. You know.
But it's not the same bike he's talking about.
No, I know the bike he's talking about. We've got one up in the cardio room. I'm gonna give it a rattle.
Concept 2. It'll be a lot easier to get your calories on that than that on the assault bike. The assault bike today, we've got a couple of assault bikes out, and people were doing the 12 calories in a minute for it.
That's interesting.
How Here's
But
me
they're all
taking my own
calibrated
fits.
differently, you
Well, I'm
see.
not super fit like.
I could do that there instead of cross trainer. I can just jump on that there. There we go. Carry some for the day. See you later.
Yeah,
Walk
but
all
the
I've
out.
never known a burn like it when you try to
other
like.
assault, the assault bag's horrible. You know.
It's horrible, and then followed by a ski yard. You're like, going seriously.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But yeah,
Okay, it's
so
okay. So
so right
what
away,
sort of
a
like
lot of coaching.
a lot of people who have maybe heard about CrossFit maybe have misconceptions that it's a big pile of burly people throwing weights down and going, oh, and then high-fiving and going off for these runs and stuff. Talk to us about what CrossFit is and why is it such a popular sport now? Is it popular because people are jumping on the bandwagon because Joe Blogs is doing it? Or is there some sort of awesomeness to it that we don't know about yet?
Well, I think a lot of it is, especially like CrossFit has done wonders for women lifting weights. You know, before a lot like 15 years ago, you'd have seen very few females doing weights in the gym. And
That's
now,
what I've
like,
noticed the past
like,
year. Even the CrossFit Games stuff, awful lot more women doing it.
yeah,
And
like it is now like it's shifted. I think it's shifted a lot of people's perspective away from being skinny to being strong.
yeah,
Like, you know, we have girls in here are just mental strong, you know, and guys coming in, you know, maybe sports guys coming in and being like, oh, we a bit of an ego, rattle up back squats, and the girl beside them's lifting heavier, and they're like, oh my goodness, you know. But I think roundabout way that it's a mixture of things. I think it's a mixture of community. I think you come in, everyone, like, you know yourself, you've been into a sort of commercial gym and you walk in and you're on your own and you're doing your own thing, and if you don't feel like going, you don't go. Now obviously there's more levels and more discipline involved, and you know, obviously the more dedicated you are to your sport and to your training, you know, that's fine. But you'll find a lot of people like a lot of our members have been people that have just never stuck at it. You know, when they don't want to go, they don't go, and then a couple of days leads into a week and leads into 2 weeks, and then they haven't been in a month, and then they just don't go back. You know, just to like
you get that everywhere though.
Yeah, that's it. So you find then like the community aspect, you know, you sort of want to come for the crack, and then the workout secondary. So like you're turning up and you're being consistent. As well as that, then the variance that we chatted about, you know, you're doing different things every day. Every day is different. You're learning new skills. Like as I say, like we have a girl in her 60s who kicks up every day and do a handstand hold against the wall, and she just loves it. Like we'll not even be doing them that day, and I'll turn over at the end of class and she's kicked up on the wall. She's just like, it's like playing again, you know. She's found like it's fun, you know. It's just something different, and she's learned this skill that she used to have when she was a teenager or a child, and she's now doing it again in her 60s. And then obviously like the benefits of people are just getting like fitter than they ever have been before, because they're just getting a really well-rounded fitness. You know, they're not the strongest in the world, they're not the, you know, the fastest runners in the world or the best endurance in the world, but they're pretty damn good at all those things, you know. So a well-rounded fitness, so they can see themselves getting fitter, and obviously in the community aspect of it as well. And then I think people now, and like science and research is telling people now, resistance training is so good for just like general health, you know, bone health, immune system, everything, you know. So people now, physios are starting to tell a lot more people to get in and do training for recovery. Doctors are starting to tell people resistance training, you know. So I think
it's stretching the muscle as well, and stretching and building at the same time, and you're cooling down all nice. But like yourself, you know, CrossFit, guys hate it and all that. You're gonna wreck yourself, break yourself. But when you actually watch the games stuff, you know, the technique they all have to learn to do, it's nuts. You know, even for doing a muscle up, like there's a technique to doing it. I tried it one day and you pulled the shoulder out of myself.
I tried it clean and jerk. Right, and I was watching lots of videos, and I was cracking up because I tried to like flip the bars, like right there, flip the bar when I squat down, or flip and then squat. So I couldn't get that right. But at any one point, instead of having the bar on the shoulders of my arms bent back like this, which is really uncomfortable, by the way, I ended up the bar out in front. And I must have tried this for about half an hour, on and off. couldn't get my feet flat in the ground. I was on my toes, so it was like this here, rocking back and forth. I've now got an injury on my arm. That teaches me for not learning how to do it properly.
Yeah, because obviously, as soon as that bar's out there, the weight's out of your centre of mass, and you're getting pulled up. And then, so that's one of the things that we do teach in our beginners program. Is one of the most common things people struggle with. It's a front rack position and creating that wee shelf. Because like we do a lot of movements from there, we press from there, we push press from there, we push jerk from there, we split jerk from there, we front squat from there, we thrusters from there. There's a lot of movements, and if we can teach people that early doors, the weights on the barbells there and not in your wrists, so
a bit like front squatting, really. You have it on there's like a shoulder part.
That's
ledge, like a ledge
scale there, but you're creating that wee shelf that it sits on,
But anyone who doesn't know that, hasn't got that concept in the head, just see people holding it with their arms.
Some people do hold it like that. Some people will,
but like it'll be on the shoulders. A lot of people don't realize that it has to sit there, not in your arms.
Yeah, in your hands. So we get a lot of new people, and then our wrists are sore. And as I talked about my first ever time in CrossFit, we had thrusters, and I was holding the bar out here, and as a personal trainer, I thought I was fairly mobile and stuff, and my mobility was shocking, and all the weights from my wrist, and but I mean that just takes a bit of exposure to it, a wee bit of exposure to the movements, and some coaching, and you usually find people that sort of starts to see an improvement in that position, which obviously cleans up the form then for the squat and all that stuff too.
Who's CrossFit for? Is it for anybody?
Everyone.
Or do you have to have a certain level of fitness? Like, do you have to be fit to do
I heard somebody saying this quote, I'm actually getting right way around here: CrossFit isn't for everyone, but it's for anyone. Like not everyone's going to like it, not everyone's going to love it, but it is suitable for everyone. As I say, like when we've got the coaching, we're teaching the movements. So although we do a beginner's intro, we technically don't need it because we're teaching the movements every day anyway. We're breaking them down, especially the more technical movements. We're breaking them down and teaching them in small chunks, and then trying to put it together for the workout. Or if it's a gymnastics movement where maybe run through progressions, find the right progression for that person that day, and we use it in the workout. So the beginners, we just touch on a few things that will help us as coaches. When we go into a bigger group, and they're in a small group, that we maybe don't get as much time with that person, but we still get a bit of time, but not as much as we would in a small group. That kind of helps us hit a few wee things that are common faults that we see with new members coming in. We can sort of touch on them, but as I say, like we teach everything, and somebody new coming in anyway.
Do you have a board up now for your members, for PBs and stuff, and like a wee competition?
No, we have an app. We have an app.
Right.
We have we used to have a board, and then we just got too many names on it and ran out of space, and my kids would come in and rub it out, and you're like, oh, what was on that? So we took it's all on an app now that it flags up when you get a PB, and
brilliant.
And then people can comment and congratulate you, and we fist bumps and stuff, and all that stuff there. That's
kind of cool, because it also gives everybody motivation. They're coming in. No, I done this and I done that. No, we've been a competition, friendly competition between them all. Doesn't no harm.
Yeah, well, that's it, and it has to remain healthy competition and use the right way. It's a good way to track results too. So with our app, and the whole sort of thing about CrossFit is it's observable progress and measurable. So you can actually see, right? So we'll do benchmark workouts now and again. Strength ones are easy to see because 2 years ago you were lifting 120 kilo back squat, and then the next time you do it, you're like 2 years now you're doing like 140 kilos, for example. It's an easy way to see I've got stronger in my back squat. But like in terms of fitness, we would do benchmark workouts. So some of them you might have heard of, like the really, really famous ones called Murph, where it's a 1 mile run, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 squats, a 1 mile run. So they're one. We would do that every year. And you can look at your old previous times and see how you're improving. Now, obviously, we've got a range of different benchmarks to test different things. But when you repeat them, then you can see then how your fitness has actually went. But it never just usually goes like that. It usually goes a wee bit down, but then like over time you're probably there and there. But there's a lot up and down to get there. But it's good.
You find a lot of people not turning up for those days?
Yeah, no, it's actually not.
Hey,
I
you're
thought
doing your
I
push-ups.
thought one of them.
It's actually one of those ones where it's probably the best turned out day. We do it on Memorial Day every year. We used to do it on New Year's Eve, but it was always stinking weather. So we've now moved it to Memorial Day. So it was a really, really hot day when we did it this year. But you were getting 30 or 40 in a class, turned up with 3 or 4 big classes. It's one of those ones, shared suffering, and it can be scaled back. And for some people, we paired them up. So they did the run and they split the reps. So they were doing half of the work really. But for a lot of people, that's still enough. And obviously it's what's called a hero WOD, so it's kind of meant to be a little bit tougher than normal. To kind of they do these hero WODs kind of named after fallen soldiers. So the guy
Burn would be good because you're motivating each other, you cheer each other
Yeah.
on. Come
Yeah,
on, you
it
can do
does.
it, let's go.
It does keep you going. Like we would do a partner workout or a team workout every Saturday morning.
Yeah.
It's just good fun. You get a bit of a better push on a Saturday morning because usually maybe you've got friends in the gym that you can't quite get the same classes during the week. Saturday morning they all seem they can all get in the same class and a bit of crack and push each other on and get that way extra maybe 10% that you maybe wouldn't get. Works the other way too. Sometimes you get a couple of people coming in hungover and they're like
CrossFit's
sandbagging each
interesting.
other,
Some of
but
the stuff I find really interesting.
yeah,
It is like I suppose I would need to my side of the thing would be getting the cardio up, the lifting
yeah,
stuff and all. I suppose I enjoy that more with the technique. There's a
yeah,
whole different level of technique stuff and all. The way you do the pull-ups and your squatting and your as you say everything else is a
yeah,
completely different ball game.
I'm
Interesting.
very much intrigued by it. I'm not
Mhm.
scared by it or I'm intimidated. I'm more intimidated and intrigued at the same time because I'd love to have it a go, but I know that the PT ego would take a massive hit and the bruise because there's certain things I can't do and I have to go back to
I see.
learn.
I'd be the opposite.
But I
I
think
would scale back on the weight to learn,
it's not
and
that
then
like
I
the pull-ups. I can't scale back on this. This is what I'm pulling up.
I'll give you 20 up.
well, there is scaling options for that too. There are lots of options. So
I'm doing assisted pull-ups in my gym. And
yeah,
I thought, right, I'm doing this all right. I'm on one of the smaller bands. It's okay. As soon as I go, right, let's just even try one only. And I'm like,
But even if you get halfway up, then let's keep do half reps, and then next time you'll get full rep and work your way up that
good to
way.
mix up your scaling options too. You're going to get some going to leave weak gaps and build them up together. Like I like a toe assisted pull up, which is quite a good when we find with our guys. So we would always try and get our guys through strict movements before we would teach them like the kipping movements, just so you get the required shoulder health. For example, on a strict pull up, 2 to 3 strict pull ups, before we kind of start getting you into the full kipping movements. So then you've got the required kind of strength and stability around that muscle before you start then loading up more reps and a wee bit efficient with higher reps and stuff. So but yeah,
a lot of people think pull-ups all do with your arms. It's not. It's all do with your back
and your core.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot more whole body than people would give it credit for. But yeah, as you said, probably our biggest battle with people coming in is kind of allowing them to like trust the process and not get carried away and come in, you say, with a wee bit of an ego, and then maybe going beyond where they're at the minute, and then that's where sometimes you can get an injury. So it is trying to, but most people are usually okay.
I'd be like that. I'd scale back on the weight. More I'd want to sort of build up slowly, but learn technique. Which you say most people come in ego lift, and next minute they're pulse on or rex on though, or then if they get to maybe do that air bike or something, and they're sitting with a wee bucket beside them, throw it up. Yeah,
that's
one of people.
It is. It's just taking your time and putting the right foundations in place, and you'll see much better progress than somebody comes in who keeps trying to skip the steps to get to where they want to get. Like long-term progress.
So I want to talk about what's happened recently, and that is the fact that you hosted your own. Do you want to call it games competition? What way do you want to phrase that?
We would call it a throwdown. Okay,
a throwdown.
Yeah, throwdown.
What's a throwdown?
So I suppose it sort of comes from an American term, people throwing down together. Kind of just getting. So what we did a teams of 4 competition, 2 males and 2 females, and we did we had 2 divisions. We did like what we call intermediate division and a scale division or a fitness division. Whereas the fitness division's ideal for probably newer guys that maybe have come in, they've got a good level of fitness, but maybe haven't quite acquired the skills, like the higher skill gymnastics, or quite nailed on the technique on the higher or the heavier Olympic lifts. So they would come in, and then we've got like the intermediate standard, which would be it's quite a high standard now in CrossFit. But it would be people that who are probably the better CrossFit athletes in every box. Now then obviously you have higher levels than that, which would be like the RX and elite guys, which now are just on almost a different level. They're a different planet. They're just so fit and so strong, like pushing the boundaries. It's incredible. So yeah, we had these 2 divisions, and we have 12 teams in the fitness, and 16 teams in the intermediate. So that was upwards of 120 people, I think, and competing across the day and Saturday afternoon. And then we had quite a lot more people I anticipated coming out to watch. So I think at any one given point, we had around 300 people in. Moira was lit up. It was good. Like, it was really
I'd
good.
love to went and seen that there. If I knew about it, I would have went out.
Yeah, so we'll run it again. We're going to run it again next year. So we have.
So we've got a year to practice then.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, plenty of time. We're so we're going to run it again next year. We've just opened up our second floor, so we've got all the work done on our second floor. So we're able both floors on the day, which was really helpful, keeping things on time. And then, but yeah, really good day. Went well. Learned a lot from it. Things I would do again and things I wouldn't do again. The logistics was fairly good, but we got an absolute scorcher of a day, and the gym upstairs was boiling. There were no windows up there. We have one window, but it opens about that much, and the big room, it was may as well not open. So yeah, we got big fans in for next year.
And was it just your members of the gym, or was
no?
it like
so we opened it up
all over?
with gyms from probably as far as Enniskillen, 5 Mile Town, Larne, Belfast, Lisburn, Ballymena. You know, so all around the country. We had teams coming from. It was the first one we have ran out of house. We would always run one every year with our own members, which is a good community day. Encouraging a lot of guys to come along and test their fitness, but really a bit of fun. But that was the first kind of outside event we've ran.
It's good friendly competition between all the gyms and all. You know, at the end of the day, you'd want your gym to win.
And did your gym win?
Competitive? No, our gym came third. We had an intermediate. Well, they won the fitness division and they came third in the intermediate.
That gives them more drive for next year. Then you know to say, okay, well, we came third, right? Let's get the heads down here, lads and girls, and start the competition.
It was a pretty stacked division that came third in, so that was actually quite a good result. You know, to get
still on the podium.
They got on the podium. It was a great result. The guys from Enniskillen and 80-20 from Portadown there. They were in first and second spot. So we actually had to go down to a tiebreaker for those 2 guys.
How did you? What way would you do the tiebreaker, or what would you do? Or
one of the events had a tiebreak time throughout, and we had to go back to it to use it. The last 2 workouts, 80-20 pulled it back. And finished level points with Enniskillen. They won the first 3. But yeah, they went back on the tiebreak then, so it was a really closely ran thing. So yeah, I'm glad I had something to separate them from with it. But yeah, no, it was good. Really, really good day, and it was good buzz around the village and stuff. The coffee shops, we're all saying the word bonged, and so it was good. It was a nice one for the Blaze to host event like that. Good. So because normally a lot of these things are in Belfast and stuff, so it's nice to have it out kind of outside the city.
Yeah. it's good that you brought some to like some Moira and stuff, and the turnout, and then the day as well. If it's good weather, it's going to bring more people.
Indeed.
I think you can't guarantee that every year. So
Not here,
Did you
no.
manage to, with all the spectators and stuff, gain some new members?
I don't know if we've been getting new members. I'm not sure how many of them directly are from that day. Because you're getting guys that are coming from their own gym communities out for the day. But it's a nice way to showcase your gym.
Absolutely.
To other members of other gyms, and a lot of them were kind of shocked at the size we have down here.
Brilliant.
And setup and stuff. So it was more like CrossFit's a small community. We're a small part of a much bigger thing. So it's nice to get everyone together and kind of the bigger community of CrossFit in Northern Ireland. So it's nice to kind of.
It's giving everybody motivation as well. All the gyms coming together and motivating each other as well. Which is good.
That's it. The sports side of it is really 1%. It's not what we do in the daily. We're not training people to go to the games. We're training people to get fitter and healthier and live their life, and to be able to get up off the toilet when they're 80 years of age themselves. And
also a bit of de-stress as well.
And
that's a normal 9 to 5 job or whatever.
That's what it is, and that's what it is day to day. And you have a small percentage of people that want to do the competitive side of it, and that's great, and we encourage that. But I mean, that's not the main reason. That's not what CrossFit was designed for. It sort of developed out of CrossFit, the sports side, because people are competitive by nature, but it was never designed to be a sport as such. That was just kind of born out of the methodology. Then people were training and getting fitter, and then also they wanted to test themselves against people outside of their gym, and then that's how it all developed. But it's kind of like a wee side part of what we do. It's just getting people back to health and fitness. Really, is kind of the main aim on the daily. So these events are great, but so that can also lead into why people do feel a wee bit intimidated, because they think that's what it's like every day in a CrossFit gym, and say it's not.
And what age can you start at, or what age would you recommend young ones come to your gym? Or
we've just started our kids program, so we've launched it from 3, and it'll run up to teens, so like 17. You can maybe have a little bit, maybe 16, 17, depends on their development, your normal classes, but we do have that now. We've just launched our kids and teens program their last week, so really like from 3 3 up, but not in your class you're probably talking like 15, 16 if they've got some strength and conditioning background and they're a bit of maturity. But yourself, 2 15-year-olds could be completely different levels of maturity and stuff. So
you've just mentioned that you have now set up a kids CrossFit for anyone from the age of 3 up till about 16, 17. You're looking for people to be about 15 if they're mature, 18 to start taking classes with the rest of the group. How is the kids going? I know it's only been 1 week, but how's it going? Like, how many kids have you got signed up? And can I set my kids up?
So what we did, we were pretty much soft launching it with our members' kids. So that will iron out any wee issues we might have with the logistics and timing and number of kids we have in the class. So we opened it up to 10 kids with our 3 to 5-year-olds. Think more like preschool up to P1. And we have 13 in the class. The parents are there with them, and they're all CrossFitters. We're like, right, we'll take a few more. They're all going to be sitting there anyway, and it's only like 20, 25 minutes class. Then we've got P2, P3, P4, and that'll be our like CrossFit juniors age. Kind of up to really around the 8 years of age. We have the 10 spots out of 10 filled, and then we have our say P5, P6, P7. Will be our CrossFit kids. The 10 out of 10 filled in that again, and then we have our teens. We've got a really I think first year and up, or 13 and up, and we have about 7 or 8 spaces filled out of the 10 there. So we're pretty much full with our members' kids at the minute. but we're going to run. So it's went really well. We've got a guy in full-time, he's a full-time coach, and we brought him in with the view. He's got 3 kids himself, and he trains them. He's been training them every Sunday, and just a really, really good way about him with working with kids. So he's taking charge on that. He's taking the lead, and yeah, it went really well. The kids all seem to love it, but working with those 3, 4, and 5-year-olds was a bit of an eye opener. He's
That's what I
3
was going to
girls.
say. How can you control them as the
So it is. He's 3 girls, and these 3 and 4-year-old boys, my Harry included. It's just like he was so thankful for his girls. The boys are different gravy, aren't they, at that age? Yeah. But yeah, went really well, and it kind of learned a little bit of how you're teaching and coaching these different age groups. You know, obviously that really young age group and below, they're really just playing, and you're getting the jump and crawl and squat, but they're not telling them you're going to squat. We're going to sit down on our heels and we're going to jump up, and we're going to making us fun games for them. But they're working those sort of gross motor skills and stuff from a young age. Then
it's like a game, but they don't know really they're working.
Yeah, you're not standing still, track their knees, track toes, initiate the squat with the hips. None of that stuff that you would coach your adults with. But you're just making it games and stuff. For these that age group.
So, folks, if you haven't noticed, Davey and I have flipped seats, but we haven't really flipped seats. What's happened is the screen and the camera has been changed over. So, apologies for any confusion. If you think you've maybe had too many glasses of wine whilst listening to this, you are perfectly fine. So, we were talking there about the kids and stuff like that there. Question, are you the only CrossFit community hub provider that offers CrossFit Kids?
No. There's a few places. There's a couple in Lisburn. I'm not sure where else. Yeah, there is. The CrossFit Kids there's a CrossFit Kids course, an online course you'll do to do it. So there are guys that are providing that. It is something we've been wanting to do from COVID, but coming out of COVID, we had done our course with a plan to launch it, but then obviously restrictions were in place, and then we had to drop our class numbers down, so we had to put more classes on to cover the reduced number we could get into class. So this one thing led to another, and class have been getting busier, so we haven't been able to drop the extra classes and stuff. And then it's only now we've got our second floor that we are able to fit CrossFit Kids in on the schedule. So it's been members have been bugging me for years. It's like, when's CrossFit Kids?
How do you cope with that from a mindset point of view? Because you went into this as a PT back in the day, right? Yeah. And PT, we've had a chat before. You had originally signed up to go to the army, but they decided not to because then you met your then wife, isn't that right?
Yeah.
Then you get into PT. Then you thought you wanted to go strength and conditioning, which is totally relatable because that's where I thought I wanted to go.
Yeah.
I might still go, I don't know. But then for some reason you didn't go down strength and conditioning. I don't know if that was whether because you thought you didn't want to work with teams or you could get more teams to make it work. And then you found CrossFit and you got led down all these different paths. Then you got hit with COVID. Then you had to make all those changes. And you'd obviously acquired this premises. You've now not been able to do the kids until recently. You've opened up the top floor. Like at any point, like you did say at one point you were going to leave the fitness industry before. Did you think that my plan isn't working? I just can't get to where I want to be? Or did you always believe that you would get to where you are now?
No, it's funny. It's just been growing and growing and growing. The stage where I'm growing with it. I had no expectations originally when I opened in here as Tribe Strength and Fitness. My goal was to try and make enough money to live for a couple of years, and then apply for other jobs and maybe look for a long-term future. And then it started growing, and then actually during COVID, most of our members kept paying their memberships, so we were able to invest in a lot more equipment because we were getting the COVID grants for being shut down.
Yeah.
So we were able to invest in a lot of equipment, and because we still had our rent to pay, our rates and all those things. Sorry, no, we didn't have our rates at that stage, but we had our rent to pay and all the other bills that we had. So we kept providing workouts and stuff. So they paid their memberships, and then we rolled out more equipment, and then coming out of COVID, it's just been a huge boom. Like we went into COVID with 111 members, and within a year of COVID, we were over 200, and people were saying that brick and mortar gyms were going to die off, and like people just wanted to be back in with people again,
Yeah.
so. I think that's where the community aspect of CrossFit was really, really good then. Good for getting people back in. So yeah, it's just kind of grown and grown, and now I have two full-time coaches. Yeah, we just got the scope to keep growing. Like, there's no point from when I opened that it's been that bad where I've been like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. I just never thought it would be big enough that I could make a living from it.
Yeah.
Like a future, a long-term future. Bar, I was like, oh, this is gonna be something that I do and I'll really love for a couple of years, but it'll probably not be sustainable.
7 years later.
But 7 years later, yeah, and some staff, and now the kids program launched and stuff now. So it's just all stuff that it was in no rush to do, but I always kind of wanted to do. And just see where it takes us, really.
Now these
Yeah.
things don't just happen. Like they don't just, not just a case of, here you go, you thought about doing it, let's have it. What did you have to do? What did you have to do in the background? What hard work did you have to put in that people don't appreciate or understand?
Well, for me, I just think provide a really good service, and I know it's not as easy as that sometimes, but like, if our coaches are well trained and investing in them to coach better, investing in my own coach development, to provide, like, our core product is our coaching. The facility, the equipment, that's not the value people are paying for. They're paying for the coaching. So that's what we need to keep constantly trying to be better coaches, and then people will see improvements, and then people will go and tell their friends, and then they'll keep coming. So like, yeah, at the start there's a lot of hours, a lot of early mornings, a lot of late nights, a lot of not putting my kids to bed or reading. Kids, I never got bedtime. It was only over COVID. I really appreciate. I was like, I need help. I need more. I need coaches, because I'm going to lose money by paying coaches. But I want more time with my kids. There's these things. The first 4 or 5 years that I just wasn't getting. That I didn't know I missed because I was never getting them. Until then. Now where I have coaches that'll they'll share the load, the coaching load and stuff, and I'm now coaching 6 or 7 hours a week, where I was coaching 36 or 37 hours a week, and now I'm a lot more kind of managing the gym and running the gym and the admin and programming and stuff like that, and then coaching maybe like that 8 or 9 hours. But I'm coaching 8 or 9 hours. They're like the best hours of my week. I love it. I'm so enthused by it because I'm not burnt out with it all. So, yeah. The there's I don't know, this may sound a bit funny, but there hasn't been anything I feel like I've had to kill myself to get there. They're like, I've been very blessed with the way things have happened and worked, and but I do think just having a real value on constantly trying to upskill myself and upskill my coaches, to keep providing a better service, and and don't let the standards drop on that, because we're busy, we're getting new members. Easy to try and let the standards drop, but we have a saying, the standard is a standard, and we just have to meet that standard. We can't let things slide. So now my job a lot of time now will be evaluating coaches and making sure we're kind of all improving together, and we're keeping that. And the 6 a.m. class gets the same level of coaching as 7 p.m. or 7:30 p.m. class. It doesn't drop
It's all
off.
the same. There's no difference been made of it.
Yeah.
The level of coaching is at a standard where every coach is coming in and providing that standard. So
yeah,
that's kind of what, like, our kind of the main focus and main work kind of has really been in behind, like, is getting that to a standard.
I have to say, I had a good old nosy at your social media. That's what I do. And it's very slick. Some of the videos are very slick, and I would love to know who does your videography. Is this a skill that you've learned, or have you seen the benefit of employing other people's services?
So what we do, we have a guy that has a passing interest in photography and videography, and he would do a lot of our, he's a member in the gym, and he would do a lot of our videos and stuff. So that on the events, he would do them, and yeah. So he would do that for me. I am not particularly Instagram savvy.
Well, his work is very good. I love the
Very good.
tiger when it comes flying into the.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
So
I love that.
so that one was actually I paid like a fiver for some guy on, no, it was about 30 quid for some guy on I don't know where it came up, an advert or something on Instagram or something like that, and he'll like give you like a wee video, like 10-second logo of your logo doing something like, you know, for like 30 quid or something. But that must be fairly back down the Instagram, because I don't think I've used it in a while. I actually forgot I had that. But no, and you know, Stevie, yeah, and Stevie Johnson, he did one of our videos for us. You know, Stevie from church, plays guitar.
Yeah.
So he did one of our videos for us for on the event there. We had 2 photographers, either one each floor. So he did one of them for us. So he's very good. If you,
because I was trying to get pictures for you for the podcast cover. And I was like, there's not many of him, like not in a weird position, like with it.
Yeah.
And there was a video and a class picture video in the pose that I wanted to find, but I couldn't stop it quick enough. So I'll let you find one. I hope you don't mind the one I use.
I know, right? I can send you some. I think they actually have that video or that picture, because they are some of the pictures we got from the event. I have a big folder of them. But yeah,
if it's a hobby or a passion, I must say your member is very talented. So it's good to have other talents around you, so you can learn from it for your business point of view, not just for the service you provide, but learn how to engage with your audience outside of the gym. Is very that I was very impressed with. I like this.
I'll steal this idea.
No, I won't steal it. I do want to know where you find these people who are like charging £5 or 30 quid to do stuff for you, because I get charged like stupid money.
Yeah, no,
anyone out there who wants to work for me.
he's good. He'll like kind of check up on like the kind of Instagram with what's trending and things, and kind of ways you can maybe tap into that a wee bit with your with your like your app. Pretty much Instagram is my advertising. So he would kind of look into that sort of stuff for me too, like, which is pretty cool, because I have no idea.
Not yet.
I post some things. He's like, get that off your Instagram quickly. It makes your profile look terrible. I'm like, oh, sorry. But yeah, I've got very good, as the years have went on. I've learned to pass things off to experts.
Yeah,
I like coaching. I'm good.
I think that's true with anything in fitness. Like, you can do as much as you think you know, but if you want to go any further, you need to engage in the professionals who have spent time training. Now, obviously, being a PT, it's the most unregulated business out there. And I've come from a very regulated business career path to an unregulated. But I still uphold those standards that you mentioned earlier on, to providing the better service and making sure that I'm tippity top, and I'm not just
tippity top.
I don't even know where that came from.
Tippity top.
To make sure that I'm providing the best service I can, and whenever I've got an issue that's something I'm not aware of, I'll go away and research it, and I'll speak to people who understand it in order to provide an extra limb.
That's it too. I mean, I don't see a lot of people just get, you know, their 3-4 week course and that's them. I'm done. I'm gonna start, you know. But like, it surprises me that there are people don't have that internal drive to be better. You know, that you know, like, to set you apart from everyone else. You know, to keep learning and be better. Like, it makes your job easier too if you know what you're talking about. You know, so yeah, like you say, like, you know, that's only, you've ticked the box there, getting that qualification, but now that's the start. You need to learn, and as you say, that's what you want to be doing, isn't it? You know, you keep getting better and keep improving. You know, I think the minute you think you're an expert, is the minute it's probably all going to start going downhill. You know, you think you know it all.
Yeah, indeed. So what is next for you and the Tribe CrossFit, Moira?
Good question. I don't know. For everything now has been building up to this CrossFit Kids, so I've launched it now, and I think we don't really have anything more really on the pipeline now. We've got the CrossFit Open coming up in February, which is a great great time in the community and the bigger CrossFit community around the world. So got that in February. But other than that, really, now it's just trying to streamline the whole process with the CrossFit kids and our classes, and kind of, we've got some ideas for some coaching development for other coaches outside of CrossFit Moira, to try and bring the level up across the board, which will hopefully be rolling out soon too. But still a bit of work to do with those ideas.
We're excited to see what happens.
Yeah,
you never
definitely.
know, we might come down for a cheeky wee
the-
session.
The last time, drop in. Honestly, see, it'll be totally
I think if I
different.
go and I'll never leave, that's my problem.
See, that's the thing. That's the challenge would be then I'd get the competitive side, and then think to myself, well, let's see how far I could push this here.
Yeah, that's it. It'll probably be so different to what you think it is, or what you perceived. Like we had guys there, from in the army, and they would have done CrossFit together, but they'd never done a CrossFit class. And he was like, he came in, he moved home there, and he came in for the first class. And he's like, this was so. I was not expecting this at all. I loved it. Just able to try and coach the bad habits that they've been doing. Some of the things that they've been doing. With no coach. Just you said, watch videos and you've no feedback. No direct feedback on your movement. They're building bad habits and starting to get some of them bad habits removed. But he sort of, I think they have an idea in their head what a CrossFit class is. And then it just, he was just like, this is not what I expected at all. It was amazing. Like, where can I sign up? That type of thing. So, it'll probably be very different to what you think or what you kind of have in your head what a CrossFit class looks like, and there'll be all ranges of fitness and abilities in that class, and
it's good. I watch a lot of it on YouTube, and you see the CrossFit games and all, and some of the stuff they do is just amazing.
Yeah, that's the thing too. I think that's why a lot of times people do think that they're intimidated, because you do see that, but it's like watching the Champions League final, Barcelona, Real Madrid or something like that, or Man City, and then going down to Moira Park, and expecting to be, that sort of standard there. It's like, it is like, that is the creme de la creme, the 1%.
Yeah.
That is not what, that's not what goes on in every CrossFit box across the country. You've got all levels. CrossFit released a video there of a girl, a wee lady, Annie, in her 80s, deadlifting,
and doing handstands and all.
Heavy, a heavy deadlift relative to her, so like it's she's out, she's moving, and they're keeping her healthy, and her joints and her muscles are, trying to get that few more years
fit rather than sitting about the house, and
that's it. And she'll be able to
health deteriorate.
So that's kind of, as I say, that's what every CrossFit affiliate is.
I can just picture sitting, with all our mates and all, and in the wee bar or the wherever they go or something, saying, "Well, what do you doing?" Or there's her standing against the wall doing a wee handstand.
Yeah.
Look at that,
and that's the thing is too, like you've seen it, like at that age, you trip and fall, and they're down on the floor for hours and hours until someone finds them. Where she'll be able to get up, get herself up.
Yeah, that's it.
Get to the phone if she needs to. It's those wee things, just improve and prolong our quality of life for as long as we can.
And it gives her confidence in herself as well.
Because like I have 2 kids. And eventually all being well, they have kids. I want to be able to play with my grandkids. I want to be fun, active granda. I don't want to be the one that's sitting there, can't get up off a chair. What type of thing. So, it's thinking about picture, and it's all fun and games and a bit of competition with the boys in the gym every day, which we do have. But really, the big picture is I want to be moving and healthy when I'm older.
Yeah, it's definitely inspiring for anybody who is maybe leading a bit more of a sedentary lifestyle, that they think, oh, I'm too old for that crack, I can't do it. But there's other people that are doing it, so there's no reason why you can't. It's just a case of believing in yourself.
It's just the usual story of excuses. Oh, I don't have this, or don't have the time to do that, and all that load of crap.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's when you're older and you can't do these things, you wish you'd made time. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Sam, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. And apologies for technical issue before. But I am super excited that we got a chance to speak to you and talk about your games, or the throwdown, sorry. You need to stop saying games. You keep talking about games, it's like you're saying it. And all about the kids. I'll be keeping an eye out for spots, because if I can get my kids to burn off excess energy,
we're hoping maybe from January we'll open up then to the next term to outside the gym. So we are.
Maybe they'll start using the climbing frame more to do the stuff rather than all the stuff in the house, like the sinks and the benches and the chairs and the table.
That's games.
Yeah.
What is it? The floor is lava or something they call it now?
Yeah, floor is lava.
That's it.
Right. Well, we'll let you get on with your day. So thank you very much.
Super.
No
worries.
worries.
No worries.
Thank you very much. Bye.